Okay, looking at number 10, it says, which events are complements? When we look at this, we need to remember that a complement is a situation where it's either this or that. There's no in between. There's no other options. So like the fact of flipping a coin. If you land on heads, great. If you don't, then you have to land on tails. So it's either heads or tails. Those are complementary events. So that's easy. So let's look. Getting a head or tail when tossing a coin. That is a complementary event because one would be 50%, the other would be 50%. Together they'd add up to give you 100%. The other way you can look at it is a half, or half of the time you would get heads. And then obviously the other half of the time you'd have to have tails. So the half plus the half will give you a whole. In our foldable, we learned about those complements or complementary events. So let's look. Spinning a 1 or a 2 on a spinner with 4 sections. Well, there's not a picture, but here's a visual. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how they're labeled. Now, if I land on a 1 or 2, okay, that's great. But there's other options here. So landing on a 1 would be a fourth, and landing on a 2 would also be a fourth. Together, those do not add up to a whole. So these are not complementary, which means I can look at my answer choices and get rid of anything that has that. So it's not A, and that's all I can get rid of. We already know that 2 has to be part of my answer because, again, heads or tails. There's no in between. There's no other options. It has to be one or the other. So that one has a 2. That one has a 2, of course. So that leaves us with 3 options. 3 says rolling a number less than 4 or greater than 4 when rolling a number cube labeled 1 through 6. Now, your teachers most likely looked at this one, read it too quickly, and figured that, of course, that's complementary because you either have a number that's greater than 4 or less than 4. You can't have anything else, except that you do. Because if you're looking at your options for a number cube, and I only know this because a student brought this to my attention. Thank you. So numbers that are less than 4 would be 1, 2, and 3. And then a number that is greater than 4 is 5 and 6. So this little guy right here is the other option. So not only, it's not an either or, it's a number that's greater than, a number that's less than, or equal to 4. So we can't have this as a complementary event, which is why this is probably one of the questions that your teacher decided to throw out and include as part of your curve in your grade. So this one's not complementary. If it had said something like rolling a number less than 4 or a number greater than or equal to 4, then that totally would have worked out because there's going to be no other option. It's either this or it's that. So then I'm going to get rid of any answer choices that have the choice 3, which leaves me with 1, answer choice C. But let's continue and let's look at that. It says drawing a red or green marble from a bag of red or green marbles. Well, if you draw something, it's red. Your other option is green because it's either red or it's green. There are no other colors in this bag of marbles. So this one is complementary. So 2 and 4, the correct answer should be C. Although when you look at your answer key, the student printout, you might see that your teacher accidentally put choice D because they included this one here in there. Okay, but answer C is correct. Complementary events.